Hi there, we are going to go on 2 shopping trips. The first one was pretty short, so I decided to go shopping again and add that onto this video. The first thing I found, whoa, were these 3 Hagen Renekers still on the little card. They are caterpillars and worms, and the one worm has a hat on. It's so adorable. We are at the Royerstown Goodwill. This was made out of some kind of weird material. In the Christmas section, they had this plastic canvas box. I thought it was cute with the little bells on it. And more ornaments. I did sell some of my ornaments at a whatnot sale, and I can't resist looking at vintage ornaments in general because they're so pretty. And there might be something that really catches my eye, even though I do still have some of the ornaments left over. I was a little nervous packing them up, but after a while it just seemed like this is just a fragile piece of glass. I've packed that before, so I feel pretty confident in my packing skills. This, I was looking for a signature because it reminded me of a cat that I had gotten when I was out shopping with Jocelyn one time, but I didn't see a signature on it, so I wasn't quite sure if it was mass produced or a one-of-a-kind piece, but regardless, I left it on the shelf. I'm always hoping these are the Fenton glass Christmas trees, but they never are. This was a pretty, probably crystal glass angel candle holder. And I don't know if there's anything, well, the baggies, you can't not stop by the baggies because there might be something in there. I'm looking to see if there's any vintage. That's what I'm always hoping for. Something flocked, something marked made in Japan. Here was an already made Christmas tree in a box. And then in the back here is a Wolfgang candy tin. That they have some nice candy. We used to get that when we were first married. People order it. You have an order form. It might be a fundraiser thing. I'm looking to see if any of these are fairy light bases or tops, because I have quite a few bottoms and I'm looking for tops, and I have 2 clear glass, and I wasn't sure if that lid went with anybody. I think I tried it either off camera or on camera, and it just didn't seem like they fit. This was really pretty. I felt that this was cut glass, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not an expert in clear glass. I just know some of it's very, very pretty. This is super cute. It's very thin. It's a hobbyist piece, and it is on the thin side for the ceramic, but it's so cute. And when I brought it home, Jenny was like, "Oh, look, it's sleeping in the jelly beans." I think this is really nicely done, and like I said, super, super cute. I felt this was an older hobbyist piece because of the drip glaze on it. I was looking on the bottom, of course, for the initials and the year, but it did have a marking and it said Alberto's. So is that a hobbyist mold? You know, you run into Holland mold, Arnell's, but I've never heard of Alberto's. If you know, please let me know. I thought this was pretty with the blue. I'd never seen that before. If I had my light with me, I would have tested it to see if it glows, because sometimes blue glass does glow. It usually has a little bit of a green. That's been my experience with it. Here's some hobnail glass, but I decided not to get that. And giving you a look at the shelves, see if there's anything that I missed. Can you guess the brand on these? Yes, you were right, Avon. Good job. I see the bud vase with that bunny rabbit on it all the time. They had bundled this together, a bowl and a tray. And then, of course, I'm finding all the owls now that the owl train's over with. I thought this was very pretty, too. It's only $2.99, but like I said in a previous video, these are hard mover for me, even though I do appreciate them. This definitely had some age to it, a little miniature glass canister. There were a lot of bunny rabbits. I wish it was more around Easter time. I do sell Easter all the time on eBay, but it kind of ramps up more the closer you are to the holiday. So that is why I didn't see. Look, another owl. But it had a chip. That is why I did not pick up some of those rabbits. And then if they really had grabbed my attention, like these birds, look at these. No signature, and that wood is super duper hard, but I was able to poke a sharp pin into that larger piece. So I do feel it is wood, but it just is, it almost makes me think it's resin. I decided to get both of those because why not? They're really neat. There's a look at my cart so far. This was interesting. Kind of on the primitive side, Probably more contemporary for sure. It's interesting how that egg was inside the rusty rabbit. Look at this. Super excited. Terrible view right there, but look. Oh, look, they're underneath the hat. And it sits up on the end. I thought this was super duper cool. At first I thought it was an ashtray, and then I realized that no, it's just a figurine because the bottom of it is flat. So it's meant to have the legs up in the air. Look, another owl. This Goodwill is usually a hit or miss. You could probably say that about any Goodwill. But I mean, what do I mean? I mean that I can go in there and find thing after thing after thing after thing, or I find nothing. So this is definitely a hit or miss Goodwill. I do like coming here. This was neat, but I felt it was more contemporary. And that was broken, or I would have probably picked that up. And I was very excited about these. I thought this one didn't have a head, and then I realized it was nesting its head inside its wing. I thought, oh, these are super cool. They're marked something on the bottom. That'll be fun to look up. And then at the very last moment, I realized, look, he has a broken beak. Ah, darn it. I thought those were really, really cool looking. So back on the shelf they went. I check out the vases while I'm here. This one was not for food use. It's a vase, so of course it's not for food use. And I'm seeing if anything snuck in here that they thought was no big deal. And it turned out it is. One time I found a really fancy-dancy vase snuck in with the regular vases. So that's why I always double check. And they have a large selection of silk flowers. And the last thing that I found, I did not take it with me because it wasn't very soft, and I'm very big on feeling yarn. I really like the colors on this, and I wish I had had my light with me because I felt it would have glowed, but it was kind of on the rough side. Now we're at my favorite Goodwill. That was so fast. You didn't even have to get in the car. And I am looking at the Christmas section because they are bringing out more and more Christmas every time I come here. I wasn't quite sure what this penguin did. It said push the belly, and it turns out it lights up and changes speed on the light. I put that back. It's weird how it was rubbery, but it looked like glass. And then over here, I don't know if I've shown you this elephant before, but it's kind of on the plain side. Then look, a bag of trinkets. Okay. Let's look at these. These are Daughters of the American Revolution, those 3 white ones, and then the blue one, which I'm not showing you any of it. That's my first video. The blue one is a 24 karat or 22 karat gold Limoges fancy dancy one. I thought that was a great deal, so I decided to put those in my cart. This is one of those whistles, but it looks like a face on the back, which I thought was kind of funny. They had a whole bunch of little things. I love looking at little things. A card holder, but it had someone's initials on it. Up top here was this horse planter for $2.99. The paint was coming off of it. I couldn't tell if this was old or meant to look old, or I didn't know what was going on here. Here was a very thin glass vase or bud vase with gold details, and then the decanter was nice. I felt that this swan was Blue Mountain pottery out of Canada because it had an English and French sticker on the bottom of it. It was not marked Blue Mountain pottery. There was something going on there that I think I probably could have removed, but swans are a hard sell. I do like picking up swans, but I felt this one, maybe if it's still there the next time I go, because it was in good shape and it didn't have a souvenir name on it. And then I spied this bag of bowls. Another bag of things, and they're so cute. I think I am going to sell these as choice on a whatnot sale. People might want certain colors. They're little dipping bowls. I thought they were very, very pretty. It reminds me of Talavera pottery, but I am not sure exactly where they are from. That was another glass piece that I moved so it would be safer. It would be safe, not safer. This is weird. It's missing its lid, but the head on that duck, so strange. Someone really liked it because the bottom was very, very worn. These had some, well, they're coasters, but then those 3 clear plastic ones look like chairs. And I did take them out of the bag off camera, and they were chairs, different vintage, mid-century modern looking chairs, but they had wear to them because they are plastic, so I did not pick them up. I am gathering a small collection of vintage lucite and acrylic things. This was a souvenir piece. It did, of course, have some age to it. It was neat, but it had the souvenir place right in the front, and I didn't really like that. And I was just going to get it for myself, so I thought to myself, do I really want this? No. So I left that there. There's a nice vintage green dish. And then the dish behind it, the green tiled one, not this one. I was seeing if this was Port Marion. There's that round green, that one right there. There we go. This definitely has some age. I've sold these in the past, but this one really looked dirty. And I thought, well, I could try and clean it up. But there were some areas where the cement was missing a little bit. So I decided against that. It just looked like a little bit too much damage for me. I thought this vase was interesting. I was a little surprised there wasn't a maker's mark on that one. And again, looking in here if there's any vases that snuck in. Look at this fantastic seashell glass vase. And let's see, they have more of it organized here. It's so nice how they have it clear glass, and it's by category, baskets, arts and crafts. It's very nice. That one had some damage to it. It was very heavy. And then here was another piece of lucite. In real life, you could see that there was a lot of surface scratches on this piece. I do like to pick these up, but this one I felt was a little bit too worn for my taste. And then this was another little bundled piece of coasters and small dishes. And there was a lot to see in this area. They had the swan, but I thought it might have been from Czechoslovakia. It was not. This was a hobbyist piece. And let's see what else. There were a lot of things to look at. I'm sorry I'm so close. It's not a very good angle. There's little Winnie the Pooh plush. This I thought was interesting. This is Primitives by Kathy. It's very popular. They have a store that you can visit over one area of Lancaster. It's kind of an outlet store. I thought this was a very, very pretty trinket box. I really like the colors against that brown, and the inside was in really good shape. I'm guessing this was probably made in India. It's very big, as you can see, but aren't those colors pretty? I usually like bright colors, but this I thought was very nice. And let's see, I don't have a basket with me, so that is why I like things, and you don't see me put them into my cart because I did not get a cart or a basket. But I'm going to remedy that situation here shortly. I'm looking in this bag to see what these were. It looked like they were pottery poles, and then you kept the onion rings, the napkin rings. I might be a little hungry. The napkin rings on those little poles. I thought it was a little strange. I wasn't quite sure what to make of that. This is obviously some milk glass. It had a price tag on the bottom from another thrift store that I recognized from the area. There was a lot of this really, really bright milk glass mixed in on the shelves. But look at this adorable little piece. This is from 1979, I believe. And then I decided, okay, I need to use this basket temporarily to keep everything together because I'm running out of arm space here. So here I am loading up my temporary basket. This always happens when I don't bring the cart in. I'm guaranteed to find something. I was disappointed that this did not have a price tag on it. They were vintage black candles. I thought they were super cool. I'm more inclined to ship candles now that it's colder, but they did not have a price, and they don't let you buy anything that does not have a price anymore. See how nicely organized it is compared to the Route 30 store. Now, granted, Route 30 is ginormous, but they have really taken the time to keep it organized as they've switched over to the black shelving units. This was really neat. It was very, very heavy. It reminded me of something made from 10,000 Villages or something like that. If I read that correctly, I think it was only $10, which I thought was a nice price for that. But again, something super heavy that I think it would just kill the sale because of the shipping costs, even though you can ship things ground now, which is kind of nice. Look at all of the monthly lighthouses. These were individually priced at $2.99 a piece. I didn't count them, but it seemed like everybody was there. Then the cartoon on that I thought was different. It reminded me of a cartoon from my childhood, but I don't think it was. That was a souvenir piece. And then these were interesting. These were probably pewter. They have the marking there, but I couldn't read it. And they had different scenes of sailing ships. And then the other one here had different scenes, maybe from a tavern or something. But I didn't look at it up close to really check it out to see who made that, because I was distracted by this plate and I was so excited. But then look, it has a giant crack right there. See it? It's around 11 o'clock. So that was very disappointing. There's the crack. There were 2 cracks in it. Oh, I was really kind of bothered by that, because it would have been such a nice little plate for someone who likes Halloween or collects redware, likes cats, covers everybody. Here I'm not showing you what I'm looking at. Again, it's my first video. They had some horses, a merry-go-round, lots of things to look at. And then this caught my eye, and then I was shocked at how heavy it was. You can see I'm kind of struggling here. I didn't want anything to drop, and then to drop on those horses. The bottom is definitely a natural stone. We're going to place it over here to look at it better. The shade is that satin glass, which always shows marks, but I'm going to try and clean it up to see if I can get any of those surface wear marks off of it. I think this is really pretty. A nice little fairy light. Again, very heavy because that is stone, but I thought it was nice, and it's different and unusual. I'd never seen this. Now you're probably going to say, that's from the Dollar Tree. I see that all the time, but I think it's very pretty. They had a lot of cookie jars. You could see the dinosaur, and there was a teddy bear, but cookie jars are kind of a pain to ship, so I usually don't buy them. I was seeing if this had some glow to it. It did not. It was a crackle glass pitcher. Sometimes I pick up crackle glass. Sometimes I don't. This was a time that I did not. And then on the bottom, they had a lot of lots, words are hard. They had lots of bags of fake fruit. Those apples were on the heavy side. They were a harder plastic. I don't really know much about vintage fruit. I will pick up the kind that's called sugared, where it has a sugared glaze to it. But for the most part, I leave fake fruit alone. Here was another swan, nice black color. And then there was another swan. See that glass swan? I felt somebody's swan collection made its way to Goodwill. I kind of knew when I started to bend down that this was going to be a contemporary piece. But I really like the color, and sure enough, it was. I like the color blue of that. I think that would make a pretty kitchen color. And then this I felt was something. And when I flipped it over, it had a France tag on it. And so I did take the time to Google that name. And it turns out that these are a pretty good seller. She is missing one of her earrings. But overall, she doesn't, have any chips on her hands or her feet. And I thought, well, somebody might want to add to their collection, even if she is missing just one earring. Then I thought that Kate would definitely want me to pick this up. I did send a picture of it to her, and she said, yes, definitely. This does have a very strong scent to it. I'm going to put that in the listing. Please be advised, this soap does still smell. I thought this was very cute. I feel that this is more of a 70s, 80s piece and not really a 50s, 60s piece. Could be wrong. That's just my interpretation. Then I'm seeing if these are anybody because they are hand-blown glass. The bottom really was kind of messy, but I am looking to see if it is signed. And then I noticed there was another one. These might have been from a home decor store because they did not have a signature on them, and they were kind of messy, that Ponto mark on the bottom. Again, could be wrong. That was just my impression. And I thought, what is this? And then I realized this is Avon, and it's full of perfume. A beer. What's that you're wearing? Beer. I'm sure it had some kind of clever name, but whoa, I was I wanted to step away from the Avon because sometimes you can get that scent on your hands. And see how it's fun? Look at all the little different things they have to look at. This, I think I had picked up before. I'm not quite sure. It was a candle holder in the shape of a bow. It did have a maker's mark on the back. This was a little disappointing. They had these all individually priced at $2 a piece. I think that they could bundle these and probably make their money faster instead of pricing them individually. But it's not my decision, of course. I just shop here. I don't work there. But I do think, like, why price these individually? Just put these in a baggie and they'll move on faster. This, this weighed 500 million pounds. And then look at the cute little raccoon cookie jar. It's always fun to find raccoons now because of knickknacks. And here was another cookie jar, a bird. And then there's a bulldog. I just looked at them. There was no way I was going to buy any of them. And then I found this on my way out of the store. I thought it was super cute. And then this was on a restocking cart. This was probably made in China, but I really liked how there's a giant bubble inside with all the other bullicante. This I thought was very, very neat. These American-inspired ornaments. Then I had a free hand, so I wanted to show you how cool the paperweight was. And then we're going to go back to the ornaments. They are marked Columbia on the top. And there was something else I wanted to show you. Look, I found more of these candle holders. I have sold those miniature ones. The miniature ones are marked made in Germany. And then it also comes with 2 larger ones. Those aren't marked. I'm hoping they are probably German, but maybe they had a sticker at one time. This was a cute little hairdresser thingamabob. And I saw that these ornaments were in their original boxes. They had blue on one side, and then on the other side they had not blue, not red, not green, but silver. If you need ornaments, I suggest go to Goodwill because they always have ornaments. And then they had some on top there. And that's going to wrap up our trip to this Goodwill. Here is everything that I picked up on both trips to Goodwill. These things will be listed either on eBay, on Knickknacks, or in a Whatnot show. There is a link in the description to my eBay store. There's also a link to Knickknacks, which gives you $5 off your first purchase of $10 or more. And there is also a link to Whatnot that gives you $15 off your first purchase. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see ya!